Hi everyone, I'm here to tell my story about how I almost got raped. So I was almost raped on 3 occasions by people that were seemingly close to me. Not seemingly close to me, but actually close to me. Yes, so the first story, this guy was my friend, my childhood friend. He was a very good friend of mine. He was a brother, in short. We did everything together, we hanged out together because I never really had female friends. I did have female friends, but I had more of male friends. So, there's this one day when I was a bit stranded. I needed to be picked up from somewhere. Yes, I obviously didn't have any money on me to book a cab or anything like that. So I knew that if I called him, he would obviously come through to help me. Yes. So he did come through. He picked me up and he took me home. But then when we got home rather, before I got out of the car, he just locked up his vehicle like that. It was late at night. He locked up his vehicle. So I was wondering why, because I didn't leave the car. So, he started saying weird things like, why have you been ignoring me? I've liked you from the very start. He became a bit weird and tried to force himself on me. It was a struggle. I didn't really know what to do because he locked his car. So he literally strangled me. He was like, you won't go anywhere because I want you. Today you will become mine. Like, these were the words he said. Yeah. So it was just by the grace of God that somehow, I managed to press the unlock, button from the driver's seat. So it's how I managed to go out of the car. I remember leaving my phone in his car. I left my book. I had a book and the phone. I left those things there. I didn't even want to go back. I literally had to run because he came out of the car chasing me because he wanted to catch me again. So I never told anyone what happened for a very long time because I didn't know how to say it. I didn't even know who to tell. Yeah, I didn't really know how to talk about it. So it was something that, it took a toll on me because I didn't know what to do. Like, I just didn't know what to do. So I was very scared. Like, I tried talking to my friends once, and of course she didn't believe me. She just thought, oh no, obviously you were both just having a moment. So that's the response I had gotten. So I struggled a bit with the whole situation, like how to overcome it. I didn't know what to do because I didn't have anyone to talk to. I didn't know who I could, confide in about everything that happened. But I tried so hard. I tried so hard to be myself. It wasn't easy, but I just told myself, okay, maybe such things happen, but then it obviously won't happen to me again. Like, I told myself that. That's something that kept on ringing in my head. I just convinced myself that, oh no, such things happen, but then they are not supposed to happen. Unfortunately, another event similar to that one happened 7 months after the previous one. I was in another situation where A friend of mine again. This one was just a friend I met there and then. Like, he wasn't a friend from way back, someone I grew up with. This is just someone that I met. We established a good friendship. We were good friends, in short. We vibed like that. But then he had the wrong impression. He thought me responding to him like that, or being good to him, was me showing some sort of, feelings for him or towards him. So I went to visit him at his house. Yes, because on that day, I was bored. So he invited me over. He was like, no, you can come over. We can just chill and just talk. So I went to his place and it was okay. When I just got there, we were having a conversation, we were talking. And then with this guy, he's someone I found comfort in. Like, he's someone I'll talk about a lot of things with, family issues, things that bothered me, my social life, and all those things. But unfortunately, that day, I just don't know what happened. Before I left, because I told him it was time for me to go back home. I remember it was 5 p.m. He said, okay, let me put on my shoes and then now let me push you, I'll push you, just wait for me. So, it took him like 10 minutes to leave his room. And then when he came out, he called me. He was like, can you come for a second? And okay, because of how we used to joke around and whatnot, maybe I was a bit slow to thinking that, this guy might want to do something to me. I followed him. I just stood on the door for his room and then he dragged me, he just pushed me, He pushed me and then closed. He never locked the door, but he just closed it. And he said, you won't go anywhere. At least I have you where I want you now. So, it was so traumatizing for me because I remembered what happened to me previously. So I started to cry, there and then. I was begging him, I was on my knees begging for him to just let me go. But then he said no. So obviously I had to help myself. I had to think of how to get out of that place. So, it was the whole thing of dragging each other. And he was very powerful, I won't lie. He dragged me, I hit myself. I don't know how many times I fell down, but I think he got tired because I was persistent to help myself. So it's how I left that place. And it was another problem I had to deal with. But then this time it was a bit scary. So I did talk about it with a few of my friends and my older sister. I did tell my sister. I told her and she suggested we reported him. But then we didn't do it there and then. We never reported him there and then. So it just died down like that. The whole, issue of reporting him just died down. But I just became very scared. I was so scared to, to mingle or rather socialize with guys. It was very difficult for me. It was very, very difficult. I became a very weird person. I mean, socially awkward. Very, very socially awkward with guys. So, 5 months after that happened, another incident of that sort happened to me. So I was now a bit confused, I just thought maybe my village people had something to do with it, bad luck or something. I just had bad luck with guys. you know, or rather male friends. So this guy, he's someone I really tried by all means to convince myself was at least different from the rest, because he's one of the guys I confided in with my previous experiences. I told him everything. Like, I told him everything, and then he was there for me. Like, he advised me, he helped me. He helped me overcome, you know, the last two traumas. Like, he really did. He was there. And I was so convinced that he was not going to take advantage of me because of how genuine he was. You know, he seemed like a genuine person, like someone that wanted a natural friendship. Nothing more, nothing less. For this guy, again, I went to visit him. Like, I went to visit him at his house. We went out, we were just chilling and hanging out. And from there, we went to his house. We continued chilling from there. Yes. So when I got to his house, he cooked. You know, we were eating and talking and laughing, and it was okay. Like, everything was just fine. That was, I would say, 4 months into our friendship. Yes, I think we were friends for like 4 months. So that day, um, I just I just planned to spend the day with him. So I was with him from morning till 4 p.m. when I don't really know what happened. Like, everything is hard to explain. Because for me, I feel like such things are always unexpected. They just happen so fast. You know, it's like you just blink and then something weird is happening and you don't even know what to do. So I was about to leave again. Almost a similar story to the last one. But then he insisted, saying, no, you can go home at 6 p.m. Yeah, you can go home at 6 p.m. I'll take you, like, I'll drop you off. So just relax, let's just chill. And okay, my curfew was 6 p.m. So even though I was doubting to leave at that time, I was just like, okay, anyways, it's not like I'm not enjoying my time here. We continued chilling, you know. We were even drinking wine. Yes, we were drinking wine. So time for me to go like came. So I stood up. I stood up and said, okay, I have to go now. Let's go. You know, you take me back home. So he asked me why I was doing that to him. So I was confused. I was like, what do you mean? What are you saying? What am I doing to you? He was like, you just can't come visit me and then just expect to chill with me, you know. I cooked for you. I kept you company. We've been having a good conversation. Like, there's no way you can just go just like that. I'm like, what do you mean? How do you want me to go? He was like, I don't want you to go. I want you to stay. So I told him, no, I'm coming from a home. Like, I have parents, you know, so you can't tell me to stay here. So he said, no, the problem with you is you're very stubborn. You know, his tone changed all of a sudden. He became very, very aggressive. Like, he wasn't even drunk, honestly speaking. I think we only had 2 glasses of wine each. I wasn't even, okay, to be honest, I wasn't even tipsy. Like, I was still sound. Like, I was still thinking. Everything was normal. Nothing, I wasn't drunk or anything like that. So his tone changed. He he became very rough. Like, you know, his tone just became very rough. So I said, okay, if you don't want to take me home, I'll go. Like, I'll go on my own. I just had my phone, so I just grabbed my phone. And then he pushed me back. Like, he pushed me back. And upon pushing me, he never even, okay, it was strange because he just pushed me and slapped me. Like, he slapped me really hard. my my cheek felt, I don't know, like I just felt, I felt very dizzy after that stab. I was so dizzy. I was very powerless. I didn't know what to do. But then I still tried to help myself. I tried to move, like to move away from him. But he was very strong, as usual. From all these experiences I had, I noticed that when a man wants you, when he wants you in bed with him by force, he's very strong. Like he can do anything to you, just me. So he continued hitting me. And he was telling me, he was like, I'm going to hit you. The reason why I'm going to hit you is because I know if I hit you, you're not going to go anywhere. You have a problem. Okay, he was blaming me. He was saying that I always want things to go my way, So I was like, okay. I was crying because I was in pain, but then I was just confused. I was like, what's the problem? It's not like you've ever shown interest in me and said you want me, you like me, and this is not how we do things. So he said, but this is how things are going to be done today. So don't make things any hard for me. Let's just have a good time. Yeah. So I said, no, I'm not going to have a good time with you because I don't want to. You're not even my boyfriend. So that got him very pissed. He hit me again. He hit me for the third time. And I started bleeding. On my left gum, I started bleeding when he hit me. So I started screaming because there were 3 houses in that yard. So I was hoping I could be helped or something like that. But then, there's just those people that always want to mind their own business. So it was a struggle on my own. The door wasn't locked, luckily. But before I could finally leave the house, he hit me again. So I was just very drained. I was very powerless, And then me knowing, oh, this guy is going to take me home. I didn't even have any money on me, I never had any pocket money to get a cab and go home. So I had to find my way in that state. So it was horrible. It was very bad, like it was horrible. I tried by all means not to be noticeable as I walked home, because I walked home that day. And when I got home, I was just crying, like I was crying. My parents were there, they saw me, they took me to the hospital. Everything happened like that, like I couldn't really talk. It took one to have fun, they just want to play. So maybe they just argued and then he hit her. So they tried to convince my parents that what I said was not what happened, as if they were even there. So, it was a bit difficult for me, but yeah. It was now a problem that I had to deal with. So the next day, that guy was bailed out. Lucky for him, he was bailed out. Yes. But then for me, in as much as my parents did try to help me throughout the whole situation, I'll tell you that they still doubted me. Because there's times they would ask me, like, are you sure you didn't do anything with this guy? Are you sure you just didn't take yourself there so things could happen? And, So it was just difficult. But in as much as they doubted me, they tried to get help. So I was seeing a therapist for a good 9 months. Yes, and I'll tell you that therapy sometimes only works when you want it or when you think it can work. So that's how it worked for me. So that's how I got here today. I would say it's not a nice thing to think about. It's not a nice thing to ever experience. It's not a nice thing any girl can go through. No, it's not. But